We're back. This is 10 Pages a Day Virtual Book Club. I am Denise, your host and transformational life coach. We are reading The Code of the Extraordinary Mind by Vishen Lakhiani. Sorry, there's a crazy glare there. There you go. I took the book jacket off because I hate the way it moves around when I'm trying to play with the book down here. We are going to be overviewing pages 14 through 18 today. I know for you math majors out there, 14 to 18 does not equal 10 pages. In the last video, I mentioned I may be changing up the format a little bit because we start chapter 2 on page 19. So I decided I'm going to play with this a little bit. I don't want us to end up at a weird stopping point in chapter 2. We'll see how it goes. It may work, it may not. Whatever. So, jumping right in where we left off with the question, and I didn't ask this last, but I'm asking this, I'm revisiting this question really quickly here. Is the last question he asked. What if we accepted that things will go wrong? They will. But that this is simply part of life's beautiful unfolding, and that even the biggest failures can have within them the seeds of growth and possibility. So good. So jumping into page 14, he introduces one of the extraordinary minds. I'm getting the impression he's going to be introducing people throughout the book. And so the first one that we meet at any length here is Mr. Elon Musk of SpaceX, Tesla, PayPal, Solar City, the Hyperloop idea, which I have no idea what that is. I'm going to have to Google that after this. But he gives a little narrative of Elon Musk has books about him, so I'm assuming this one page is just a little bit about his life. And he talks about how he became a rule breaker, how he started questioning and pushing the limits, and what he's been able to accomplish from that. We jump right into, after that, Law 1, Transcend the Culturescape, which I'll read to you briefly here, says, extraordinary minds are good at seeing the culturescape and are able to selectively choose the rules and conditions to follow versus those to question or ignore. Therefore, they tend to take the path less traveled and innovate on the idea of what it means to truly live. Elon Musk is credited for having told Vishen during this interview, I have a high tolerance for pain. That's Elon Musk's quote. And what he was talking about, at least Vishen writes about in context with that, is the dips that Mr. Musk went through in his exploration and discovery of all these things that he's done. SpaceX is a space travel company, Solar City, obviously solar energy, Tesla Motors, electric vehicles. And what Vishen says, and I think this is true, and I'll go into the idea of reframes here in a second, but this is a great reframe. The dips in life contain amazing learnings and wisdom that lead to sharper rises in the quality of life afterward. But you will need to brave the momentary pain of these dips. So that's a little knowledge we just got dropped on us by Vishen. But it's true. It's a paradigm that we work with in the coaching methodology that I've learned, which is everything is an opportunity. It just may not always look like it from where you're standing. And I believe that's true. In my own experience, it has been true more than once. I have experienced, even just in the past year, this past year, I'll share with you because that's what I'm all about. In this past year, and it's July, I lost 3 people in 3 months. and I was just launching as a coach. It was, that's it. It was a lot. And after the days of weeping and, oh my God, what came from that was the realization that I could be devastated, and I was devastated, but devastated didn't have to be its own thing. I could be also inspired by the legacy left behind by the people that I lost, my 2 aunts and my grandfather. And the opportunity there was still to do something amazing with my life, to push forward with what I envisioned and what those people had faith in me that I would be able to accomplish. So it was weird. It was weird, just being honest, to think, oh, the death of 3 people in my family is an opportunity. Like, what? What? But I am blessed enough to be part of a community, part of a coaching paradigm, part of a coaching school that says there are other ways to think about the things that happen in our lives. So instead of grabbing my Costco-sized box of Pop-Tarts and the entire DVD series of Harry Potter and climbing under the blankets and never coming out again. And believe me, it was tempting. It was tempting. Instead of doing that, I decided I'm going to do this. I'm going to do coaching. I'm going to pursue a life that really speaks to my heart. I'm going to question my own beliefs. I'm going to question the things that are limiting me and holding me back. And I'm going to blow the lid off this mofo in honor of these incredible people that I had in my life who taught me about perseverance, who taught me about growing and just being the best versions of themselves, even when they weren't, So, Vishen has this quote in this book that I like. He says he now comes to dips with an inner delight, and he says, "Wow, this sucks. I can't wait to see what I'm going to learn here." It's a very cool place to be. It's not a place that people often live, but it's a place you can visit every now and again, and it really changes the perspective. That's really living from a place of gratitude, of being grateful for even the small things, because they do have something to teach you. Oftentimes our greatest pain points in life have a lot to teach us, and that's the reframe. So I digress and move on to what happens in the rest of the 4 pages, because this is not a book about me. But he gets into what's next. So jumping into what's going on in the next chapters. And he says, he makes some pretty big promises here. He says, "I will provide keys for unlocking your potential to become extraordinary." This means shaking off the shackles from cultural baggage of the past, expanding your vision of your future, and experiencing a dramatic shift in how you view life, function in the world, pursue goals, and interact with others. And then he gives us some serious words of warning, where he advises us against the things that could go wrong if we continue reading this book. He lists them as follows, and I'm not going to list all of them, but I'm going to list a couple of the ones that he picked. You might anger loved ones as you decide to question their expectations of you. You might decide to leave your current relationship or stay in it and make it work. I added that one. You might rethink your career. You might decide to forgive someone who hurt you in the past, You might fall out of love with someone and fall in love with yourself. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I love as a coach. It speaks to my heart. You might find a mission that excites you a lot and scares you a little. And lastly, I'm going to leave it on this, is a quote that he adds from Peter Diamandis, founder and chairman of the X Prize Foundation, is famously known to have said, "If you can't win, change the rules. And if you can't change the rules, ignore them." Food for thought. Until tomorrow, this is Denise. Have a good day.